Hello everyone and welcome to this. This is PWME News Take 2 for the 23rd of fucking April 2016. I just got halfway through recording this damn thing, and then all of a sudden I get a message from Mr. David KocoSports saying, "You're not live anymore." I'm there blowing fucking gaskets right, blowing gaskets left, but welcome to this anyway. This is ProWrestling.me news for the 23rd of April 2000 and goddamn 16, your daily news show. Basically, I've taken a week off to kind of just indulge myself and get rid of all the nasty pro wrestling memories as of late. I've watched Lucha. I've watched Raw because I was there live at the O2 Arena. And I was kind of, I don't know if I was losing my smile, Shawn Michaels-esque. I was kind of getting a bit down in the dumps. I was being a negative Nelly. I was really depressed. I couldn't even find myself the motivation and will to watch this week's edition of NXT, which we are going to be talking about today on this program. We can talk about NXT house show results. We can talk about WWE house show results from last night. Both are from. We're going to talk about Ring of Honor announcing mega matches and lineups for the Global Wars pay-per-view event in May the 8th in Chicago, Illinois. That'll be live on traditional pay-per-view, not IPV. I think it'll be available on IPV as well for international viewers. And also going to talk about a departure from TNA Wrestling. And a very comical, and just because I'm in a good mood. Literally, I start my shift at work in 56 minutes. Basically, the reason why the original recording went off air was because my internet cut. Now, firstly, I want to blow a gasket at Sky. Sky is the #1 cable, as you Americans call it, provider in England. That's where WWE is on. That's where Barclays Premier League is on. That's where Darts is on. That's where, if anything is anything in the world of television, it is involved right there on Sky. It's a fact. It's not a fiction. It's a pure fact. Now, what really creeps me out television is the fact that I upgraded. I pay an extra £18 a month. Why do I pay that extra, ladies and gentlemen? I tell you why. Because I want Sky Fibre Optic Broadband, the apparently #1 internet broadband in the England, in UK, and that's apparently a fact. Well, as we do like to play fact or fiction an awful lot here on the Internet Infantry and KocoSports.net and ProWrestling.me, I call that fiction, because that's why the show cut, because of that. And I'm literally there, like, scratching my head, itching my balls. What the fuck am I meant to be doing here? I pay an extra month so I can do this podcast, so I can have great streaming, so I can have fucking wonderful streams, so I can stream for hours on end, and I fucking pay the extra and get bullshit from it. So earlier on, my mum phoned up and we fucking cancelled the damn thing. So I no longer pay £18 a month. I think we're going to BT. I think that's a great... But anyway, back to the original point. I was going off on tangents about damn Sky. They are sacks of shit, and my nan on a tricycle is a lot quicker than Sky Fibre Optic Broadband. So if you're out there and you're with Sky and your fibre optic works, please tell me in the comments live if you're listening to this live. If you're listening to this on the on-demand section, whatever the fuck you want to call it these days, please put in the comments if you're with Sky, how is your broadband? Because mine keeps cutting, so we just cancelled it. I'm not taking bullshit like that ever again. It's not just the once this has happened. This happened on a Raw review a few months ago. When you pay the extra, you expect the extra given to you. And that really grinded my gears. The point I was originally trying to make before I went on 16 different tangents there on Sky is the fact that someone tweeted Eric Bischoff telling him, please buy TNA Wrestling. And I'm going to get up my Twitter machine right now. And I'm going to tell you exactly word for word what the reply was from one Mr. Eric Bischoff. Let me think about this for a moment. Not a chance. What a lad. Eric Bischoff, my son, you are the Twitter machine of the day. Give him a Barry Horowitz from Mr. David KocoSports. That was very fucking amusing, and I absolutely cracked up. You can follow me on Twitter at LK Wrestling. I'll guarantee to follow you back, as long as you don't post spoilers or be an imbecilic sack of shit. Anyway, let's digress. Let's get down to some NXT house shows from last night, April the 22nd, 2016, from Tampa, Florida. Reading all of these from pwtorch.com. I'm a big fan of that site. Patrick Clark in the opener defeated Buddy Murphy in apparently what was a fun opening match, obviously live audience. Patrick Clark obviously was part of Tough Enough. He then went on to do a bit of indies. And what funny thing is, the Tough Enough competition. I mean, ZZ, he's a sack of shit. But I understand why they employed him. I do. Don't get me wrong. Even though I am a major fan and just a believer in, if you are not talented inside that ring, you have no right to be there. But then, why do people like Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy? They're not the best workers in the world. but they're entertaining. Now, if ZZ can perfect the art of entertaining, I think he could be a great sports entertainer. Now, I always say if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get my boy Randy Orton. I say that because that's JBL's line. That's why I call John Cena Big Match John. They are two perfect examples of sports entertainers, okay? They're not the best in ring. Well, in my opinion, Randy Orton honestly, guys, I think Randy Orton could do well in New Japan. I would love a Randy Orton Okada, Randy Orton Tanahashi, Randy Orton Kenny Omega. I think Randy Orton is a great pro wrestler as well as sports entertainer. But because he's in the category with Dave Bautista, in the category with John Cena, with the category of Triple H, you just narrow them down into the margin of sports entertainer. Now, I like that because I have the great moniker of if you build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you get my boy Randy Orton. That's just what I have, and I've been using that for a long time. But in the end of the day, I honestly think ZZ, if he loses, I don't mean this in a horrible way. I know everyone's built a bit differently, but maybe tone up a little bit. Let's lose some of that young boy chub. And I think he could be a good sports entertainer. But back to the original point, Patrick Clark did defeat Murphy. It says Murphy. I don't know if that's a Buddy Murphy from Blake and Murphy. But in any event, you got to feel sorry for Murphy and Blake. I mean, they were NXT Tag Team Champions. Now they're in the world of irrelevancy. Sure to be followed by the Vaudevillains. Even if the Vaudevillains win the tag straps, I still see them being like the primetime players. Honestly, that's a shoot. I honestly see them like the primetime players and like the Ascension. They may get the occasional push. They may get a rub from somebody sometime, somewhere down the line, but they will not be main eventers ever. That's not a fact. That's not fiction. That's just the way how I see it. I honestly do not see them in any way, shape, or form ever being of any relevancy. They're not, I'm sorry to say this, they're not big enough, and that's disgusting to say, but that's just the way the WWE works. And please do not bash me in the comments for saying, oh, it's not about the size, it's about, blah, 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 blah. No, that's what we think. I think AJ Styles right now should be the heavyweight champion of the world in any company he's in. I think the tag team champions should be Enzo and Cass because they're damn entertaining. That's not how it works in WWE because of one man, the Toilet of Doom, Vincent Fuckity McMahon, and that's just the way it's been for fucking decades. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's the way it's going to stay until the man dies. Back to NXT. Then we had the Authors of Pain. What an absolute awful name. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm going to slaughter these names. Kazim Salamani and Sonny Daginsa, they defeated the Ely brothers. Whoever the Ely brothers are, they're just, I have no clue. And I said this point, this is television. Please tell me if this is a good point. I think NXT, first of all, if you think NXT should not be on the network, I'm going to explain to you why it should be. Okay, NXT, Triple H does a great job in targeting the hardcore wrestling fans. He does an absolutely magnificent job because these hardcore fans, they have podcasts, they use their Twitter machines, they got thousands upon thousands of followers. Now they're going out there, they're putting over NXT. Now people who are just casual fans, they're going to say, what's NXT? Blah, blah, blah. You can watch NXT on the W Network, then they're going to subscribe. The hardcore fans already subscribed. They're putting NXT over something rotten. If NXT gets removed from the W Network, you're eliminating potentially a tenth of your hardcore wrestling fans, because I'd say a tenth of them solely subscribe for the W Network because of one thing, and that is NXT. So I do honestly think it's a great idea for keeping NXT off television deals. And I'm going to be honest with you, television deals aren't making that much money anyway. I mean, look at Impact. They're struggling something rotten, and I'm not going to come in here and bash Impact because they don't make much money. But if you look at their TV viewings each week, okay, they did above 300,000 this week, which is a really good episode of Impact. I have not watched it, as I told you. The only things I've watched this week are Main Event, Lucha Underground, because I watch that no matter what, and Monday Night Raw. But I only watch them because they're live, and there's a big difference. So, by the way, make sure you check out my Main Event review. It was in the mix of, I think it was Thursday night. There was about 3 podcasts uploaded on this channel. I think it was 4, actually, if you include in the breaking news of China passing away, which is a damn shame, and it's just tragic. I mean, I don't really want to talk about it because I'm in a very positive mood. I don't want to be a negative Nelly before work. Shit, I've got to speed this shit up. I'm just lollygagging and pussy fucking around, going on 16 different tangents here. I need to stop and fucking focus. And if you're wondering why there is no camera on right now, it's because I'm currently not in the PWME UK headquarters. I'm in my bedroom. And if you're wondering why if the sound is really strange, if the sound is really shit, I apologize. I'm using my brother's PlayStation 4 headset. Now, if this is a good headset, please tell me in the comments below or the live comment chat, and I will be getting to the live chat after I fucking finish this. But firstly, fuck this. Let's finish this. So then we had Adrian Reese defeating Daria from Tough Enough. I honestly do not remember Daria from Tough Enough, but then again, I barely remember Tough Enough. It was probably one of the worst experiences of my life. No Way Jose defeated Josh Woods. Please put in the comments, is NXT this week worth watching? I haven't watched it yet. I might go back and watch it on Sunday. Sawyer Fulton and Alexander Wolf defeated TMDK, which is obviously Shane Haste and Mikey Niels, from Japan. One of the huge signings a few weeks ago for W and for NXT. Tino Sabatelli defeated Angelo Dawkins. And speaking of the W Network, if you do not know who Tino Sabatelli is, he was part of the Breaking Ground series. He was a huge part of it, actually, if I'm going to be honest with you. About basically, he's trying to get over, but he can't. And he's trying to find his character. He's trying to find his rhythm. He's trying to find his groove. And, you know, the guy looks great. And I'm not saying that in a gay way or a sexual way. I don't think he looks attractive. I'm just saying he's got a great body. I can picture Vinnie Mac, the toilet of death, absolutely loving this guy. This guy looks ripped. I think he's a former bodybuilder. Do not take my word for it. He does look like he's some kind of bodybuilder of some kind. But in any shape of, or any fucking shape of the imagination, he is incredibly, incredibly ripped. And that's a shoot. He looks, who the fuck is that? I apologize. As I said, I'm in my bedroom and some fucking woman pulls outside my lawn. Get the fuck out, you fucking toilet. Stop kicking the fucking ball in the grass. Is this an England thing? But do you find that young children around the age of 10 to 16 have no respect? I'm stood here. I've got the blinds slightly tilted. By the way, I can't not have blinds because I'm a very private guy. And I have them slightly tilted. So I can see outside right now. So basically, I'm doing this program in the bedroom, as I've already said a few times now. I can see when the parents get home because I'm pretty sure they don't want to hear me flabbergasting and being an absolute cocksucker upstairs. It's just the people are just so lack of respect. They're kicking the football around on the field. It's an absolute joke. If you go out there and shout at them, they're going to say fuck off. And that's a shoot. And it really drives me crazy. But, you know, 2016 is just the year of the scumbags. Liv Morgan and Aliyah defeat Nikki Glencross, which is the name of Nikki Storm from the Scottish and English independent scene, and Mandy Rose. Alex Riley in the main event. Take that in. Look around you. Just take a second. Wherever you are, if you listen to this live, please put something in the comments section, and we'll get to it at the end of the show. If you're not listening to this live, just take a moment. Just one moment. Breathe in. Breathe in with me. Breathe out. Alex Riley was involved in a wrestling company's, not just a wrestling company, the #1 company, apparently, in the world, and he was in the main event. Give yourself a Barry Horowitz, Mr. Alex Riley, in the main event of NXT. He defeated Ty Dillinger in the main event. Apparently, Ty Dillinger is really over in this one. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm tempted to go to the NXT house show in Bournemouth. I think if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think it's happening on sometime in June. Tickets I know are £44-66, so I'm tempted to spend that money to go to an NXT house show. But if this is the caliber of athletes that are going to be on the show live, I think I might pass. As much as I'd love to see Tino Sabatelli wrestle, I'm not interested. But one thing I do think is a smart and interesting idea is if the NXT house show aired live on the W Network. Now, if you guys know, New Japan Pro Wrestling has their own, so to speak, W Network. It's called New Japan World. Go sign up now, 999 yen. And they, excuse me, they have their house shows uploaded every single time. They just have the hard camera. There's no commentary, just the hard camera. And maybe sometimes a few cameras around ringside if it's a big enough event. That's what we should do with NXT. If I can understand why they don't, because obviously production costs, but they use a hard camera anyway, which was proven by Breaking Ground. Just have it connected live. Don't even do it live. Have it on an hour or 2 hour delay. You know, if they can't use certain music, they can edit the music out and then just upload it. You know, have an NXT house shows category. This way, you know, people like me and the hardcores, there's another reason. We need reasons to purchase the network. Here is another reason to purchase the W Network, because you'll get the NXT house shows. You'll be able to see the future of the future stars of NXT. Guys like Tino Sabatelli, Patrick Clark, ZZ, people we just mentioned earlier on in the show. I think it's a great idea, and I'm sure they're going to capitalize it sometime down the line. I need to speed this shit up. I start work in fucking 43 minutes, and I still got three fucking things to talk about. WWE's house show results from Paris, France. IC champion The Miz defeated Dolph Ziggler to retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. We've seen this so many times, I don't think I really need to talk about it. Alberto Del Rio defeated Damien Sandow, poor guy. Fandango defeated Alberto Del Rio. Holy mother of God, Fandango won a match. He's won more matches this year than Tyler Breeze. Let that sink in. AJ Styles defeated Chris Jericho. Natalia Page, Alicia Fox, and Eva Marie defeated Lana, Naomi, Tamina, and Summer Rae in an 8 Divas tag team match. And in case you haven't watched this week's edition of Main Event Review, as I already plugged a few minutes ago on this show, I talked about how well and how vastly improved Summer Rae has become. I actually think, in all honesty, she's become a damn good worker. I thoroughly was entertained in a Summer Rae versus Alicia Fox match on this week's edition of Main Event. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great match. Go everywhere to check it out. Honestly, good stuff. Summer Rae improving. Good job. Goldust defeated Curtis Axel. Poor my boy Curtis Axel. With Victor, because apparently Victor joined the Social Outcasts. And then Kane and Big Slow, they defeated the Wyatt family. Obviously, the Wyatt family being Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan. US Champion Kalisto defeated Ryback to retain the WWE United States Championship. Poor both of those men in the buffer. Poor bastards. And then Dean Ambrose and Sami Zayn defeated Triple H and Kevin Owens in the main event. And that does sound like a dream main event. Really good of main event there for the fans in Paris and in France. Hope they all had a good time at that show. Just sounds like a great, Triple H in there with his NXT proteges, with Sami Zayn, with Dean Ambrose, with Kevin Owens, all of them coming from the NXT developmental brand, which Triple H runs. That must have been a great feeling for one Triple H. Or ROH. We'll move on to some ROH news. Enough of this WWE, enough of this NXT. I've had enough of that. We talk about that so much on this damn channel. I want to mix it up. Here we go. Ring of Honor news. The ROH Global Wars pay-per-view, which does air on May the 8th live on pay-per-view from Chicago, Illinois, in case you're wondering where to go live. We have a kind of a full semi-full card announced. So we have the Ring of Honor World Championship on the line as Jay Lethal defending against the returning Colt Cabana. The Ring of Honor Tag Team titles on the line is you have War Machine, which is Ray Rowan and Hanson, versus the Briscoes. Briscoes looking for, I think it's their 9th or 10th World Tag Team titles at Ring of Honor. The ROH TV title on the line is you have Tomohiro Ishii versus Bobby Fish. Obviously, Bobby Fish has been the challenger for the last 3 pay-per-views. Bobby Fish has been the challenger for the television championship. If you take your memory back to All-Star Extravaganza 2015, Bobby Fish challenged Jay Lethal, who was the double champion at the time, for the TV championship. Final battle, he challenged Roddy Strong. So he's going for the 3rd time lucky, facing off against Tomohiro Ishii, this time again for the television championship. You have Hiroshi Tanahashi and Big Michael Elgin versus Kazuchika Okada and Moose. You have a big, huge 8-man tag team match. You have the Bullet Club, which is the Young Bucks, and IWGP Tag Team Champions, and if they are still IWGP Tag Team Champions at the time, as they will be defending the championships at New Japan Pro Wrestling in Doroku, or Dinoku, however the fuck you say it, they will be defending it there against GBH, which is obviously Honma and Maccabi, so they might not even be Tag Team Champions, but if they are, then it will be the Guerrillas of Destiny, which is Tama Tonga and Tonga Loi, formerly of Camacho of NXT. Then Kushida and Matt Sydal. What an 8-man tag that is. Then the Addiction versus Jushin Liger and Cheeseburger in the sponsored KocoSports.net piss break of the night. That's really interesting, and I'm actually looking forward to that. Still announced talents from New Japan Pro Wrestling that I didn't talk about. Tetsuya Naito, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, is scheduled to be on that show, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to what involvement he's going to have on the show. How about this? How about this as dream booking? Roddy Strong. Roddy Strong was not announced on that show. I want to see Roderick Strong versus Naito in a Ring of Honor ring, live on pay-per-view for 20 minutes for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. There you go. That's my request to Ring of Honor management. And we have a departure. It would not be an edition of the news if we didn't have a departure and a sad story to summarize this event. And of course, it's about TNA. It wouldn't be. Now, I'm not going to come in here and I'm not going to bash. I'm not going to humiliate and embarrass TNA, even though I kind of did early on in the program about the Eric Bischoff incident, but that was just for entertainment purposes only. Please do not take offense, TNA fans. Please do not bash me for that. And I know they do. And it's very funny, very amusing. I do get entertained by it, by people blindly defending a company. See, this is what I love about this program. I've talked about Ring of Honor. I've talked about Japan. I've talked about WWE. I've talked about NXT. No, I'm talking about TNA. And people just bashing certain companies. No, I have not bashed one company. I am talking about it as a sport. That's why I'm a part of ProWrestling.me, because I'm a fan of pro wrestling, not a fan of this company and this company and this company and this company. No, everyone out there, if you could do one thing, if you could do one thing for me, one thing for Dave Coco, one thing for anyone on the planet. Stop being fans of a company. Be a fan of the sport. Be a fan of the art. That's just one thing I would love everyone to do in 2016. I have worked on this very tangentially. I was a huge, just solely Ring of Honor fan. I was a Ring of Honor mark. I was an ROH fanboy until Coco said, look, why? And you know what? He is damn right. I am not a Ring of Honor fanboy anymore. I talk about Ring of Honor a lot because that's what I love. But I also love New Japan. Also love the Underground. I love TNA. I do not want TNA to go out of business because there's so many men and women who make their living, who support their families from that. It's television. Global television. They're in England, they're in India, they're in fucking Spain, they're in Italy, they're in America, they're in Canada on the Fight Network. They're everywhere. It's a global company. I do not want to see those men and women unemployed. Is that bad of me? Speaking of unemployed, back to the news. We have Velvet Sky announced her departure from TNA Wrestling. Sad story, TNA, Velvet Sky and TNA is on and off like a blue-ass fly. 1 minute she's there, 1 minute she's not. To be honest, I don't really take notice anymore. When I was like, 12, 13, 14, you go through puberty, think, oh, yes, Velvet Sky, your ass is just incredible. Now I'm older, got a girlfriend, not interested. I'm interested in talent. Looks to me, at the age I'm in now of 19, nearly 20, I'm not interested in women's wrestling for the tits, for the ass, the TNA. They need to change that name so badly. How are you meant to market that company? How are you meant to market it? Unbelievable. Make sure if you're watching this live, please do not feel discouraged if I haven't talked about your live comments yet. I'm going to get to them at the end of this show, which is after I talk about this. So she had a final match at Friday night's Impact TV tapings, which is going to air on a future date. They announced the decision because basically Velvet Sky did not choose to renew her agreement. This is a statement that Velvet Sky produced. TNA Wrestling has been my home for 10 years, and no matter what happens in my future, I will never forget where I've come from, or the people who helped me get where I am. Thank you to everyone at TNA Wrestling, from talent to production to crew, who has helped me do what I love. Does this mean this is the end for Velvet Sky? Does this mean she's going to either go to WWE? Is she going to tour the Indies? Is she going to go to WWE with the Dudleys? Who knows? I mean, Dudleys at one time had Stacy Keibler with her. It is possible for an attractive female. Don't take me this as wrong. I think Velvet Sky is very less attractive for what she was 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 years ago. I don't know why. I think, honestly, out of the beautiful people, I think Madison Rayne is a lot more attractive than Velvet Sky. Now, that's the heel heat burner, but that's just my opinion about it, and that's what I'm going to stick to. I give you my opinion, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to get some live comments if we have any. If we don't, I'm going to cry myself to sleep at night, and it's going to be embarrassing, and I'm going to cry myself to sleep, but it'll be fun. But that's just Jesus H. Christ on the damn popsicle stick. No live comments. I look like, 40 corners. Can't wait to see TMDK on NXT versus American Alpha. Great comment, 40 corners. Thank you for watching live. I think that's a great shout. That is an absolute terrific shout. I think that would be an excellent match and an excellent rivalry. Great way to introduce them. In a division now that's got rid of a Maureen Cassidy. It's got rid of the Vaudevillains. There's not much depth in that damn division. You got American Alpha. I mean, look, we just talked about the Leagues of Pain at the NXT house show. Who the fucking hell are they? I have no clue. They could just be any Tom, Dick, and Harry you find on the street. Honestly. So, yes, that's a great idea. Let's get some depth back in that tag team division. Every time NXT tag team division gets depth, it gets thrown away because WWE steals it. And that's not a bad thing. As TDP would say, it's a good thing because, the main roster, in the end of the day, is what it's all about, even though NXT is vital for the WWE Network. And that's why I think Finn Balor stayed at NXT. That's why I think they don't bring up Bayley. Because in the end of the day, NXT is a great asset to the company when it comes to the WWE Network. So thank you, 40 Corners, for leaving that comment. Make sure if you're listening to this on the YouTube channel, put some comments in, what you think. Maybe give me a question to do a Stump the Idiot sometime down the line. It's Saturday. I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of ProWrestling.me News. I'm going to try and do it daily on my old VIP channel. I always did it daily. I called it Daily Dirt. However, I'm part of ProWrestling.me solely now. So it'll be ProWrestling.me News We talk a lot about house show results. We talk a lot about network. We talk a lot about business. Talk about TV ratings an awful lot. And we talk about previews like we did on this show. So thank you so much for watching this show. Make sure you head over to ProWrestling.me. Sign up. That's 100% completely free. Head over to KocoSports.net. That's KocoSports.net. So we'll go to Couch and Sports. Above all, we're also okay to be a damn passionate fan of the sport of professional wrestling. Thank you so much for watching this. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a comment on anything regarding professional wrestling. Also, subscribe to this damn channel. And if you have already, thank you very much. Thank you very much for bearing with me for 20 plus minutes. It's been a damn pleasure talking to you. This is my second attempt at filming this damn thing. Thankfully, it's the last. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay well. This has been your boy LK from ProWrestling.me. And I'll be damn sure catching your asses down that line.